In this lesson, we're going to talk about the angles of triangles and their relationships. So let's first talk about the interior angles of a triangle, and those are just the angles inside of your triangle. Angle A, angle B, and angle C are the interior angles, and if we were to add all those measurements up, we would get 180 degrees. So the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180. The triangle sum theorem is what tells us that. So make sure you write this statement in your notes. Now we're going to extend one of the lines of our triangle. So let's take a look at BC, and you can see that we've extended this line. And once we've extended one side of our triangle, we have created an exterior angle. So the exterior angles of triangles are the outside angles created by extending the side of a triangle. Angle E is considered an exterior angle. Now let's talk about what is the relationship between C and E. We can see that angle E and angle C created our line, and we know that when two angles create a line, which is 180 degrees, those are considered supplementary. And our equation for this example would be angle C plus angle E is equal to 180 degrees. Now let's talk about remote interior angles. These are two inside angles that have a larger distance from an exterior angle. So we're going to use the word respect when we talk about remote interior angles. And with respect just means from the perspective of that angle. So if we're considering angle E an exterior angle, the remote interior angles to angle E is going to be angle A and B. So the interior remote angles are angle A and angle B. Now the relationship between the remote interior angles and the exterior angles is that if you were to add angle A plus angle B, it would give you the same measurement as the exterior angle of E. Now in our diagram, let's extend each side of the triangle. We have created many angles. You can see at each vertex of the triangle that we have a total of 4 angles. We know the inside angles are interior. Now let's take a look at the 3 angles at each vertex. Here we have angle G, I, and H. The exterior angles are those that are formed when we extend the line, such as when we extend line BA, we created H. So H is an exterior angle. When we extended line CA, we created angle G. Angle I is not an exterior angle. I is simply vertical to angle A, and they are congruent. So angle I is congruent to angle A because they are vertical angles. Now let's take a look at the set at this vertex. We can see that J and K are the exterior angles, and L is just vertical, therefore congruent to angle B. And let's look at the third set of angles. We know C is interior, we can see E and D are considered exterior. F is congruent to angle C because they are vertical. Now let's talk about remote interior angles. I'm going to erase some of this. So let's consider first angle K, the outside angle, angle K. So we're looking right here. The two angles that has the greatest distance from K on the inside is A and C. Therefore, angle A and angle C are the remote, and they equal the exterior angle K. Now let's look at angle E. We're looking at angle E. The two interior angles with the greatest distance is A and B. So angle A and angle B added together gives me the exterior angle E. A and B are the remote interior angles with respect to E. Now let's take a look at H. Angle H, the remote interior angles with respect to H, is B and C. So angle B plus angle C is congruent to angle H. Now let's look at J. A and C are the remote interior angles to angle J. And now let's look at angle D. And our remote interior angles are A and B. And those two angles added together gives us the measurement of angle D. And then our last set, we're looking at angle G, and there are two remote interior angles is C and B. So angle C plus angle B is congruent to angle G. Now let's take a look at some practice problems using the relationships that we know between all of our angles. We know that A, they tell us, is 68. B is 52. And now we want to name all the other measurements. We can go many ways. First of all, we can do our vertical angles. So we know I is 68 degrees. We know L is 52 degrees. The way we can get C is we know that the triangle is 180. So when we add 68 and 52, we get 120. And then we're going to subtract that from our total of 180. And C is 60. Therefore, F is 60. Now, we can get angle E in several ways. We know that the sum of A and B is the same as E because those are the two remote. And we've already added 68 and 52 to get 120. I could have also said that C and E are supplementary. Now I can get angle D easily because E and D are vertical. Okay, let's go to this vertex. And if we want to get angle J, I could simply just add the two remote interior angles, which would be 68 and 60. So J is 128, therefore K is 128. They are vertical. Now let's go and look for G and H. So we know G and H, the remote interior angles, are B and C, so we could simply add B and C, and we get 112 degrees. And that is all the measurements. Okay, let's take a look at one more example. They tell us that C is 81 degrees and that J is 106. So this time I only have one interior angle measurement, but I could easily get B because I know that angle J and angle B are supplementary. So we can simply subtract, and we're going to get 74 degrees I can get angle A because B and C plus A equals 180. So I have 81 and 74 is 155, and then subtract that from the total of a triangle, and we're going to get 25 degrees. If A is 25, I is 25. We can get angle E by subtracting 81 from 180 or adding 74 and 25. So when I add 74 and 25, we get 99 degrees. And we know D is 99 degrees. We know C and F are congruent, they're vertical. We know B and L are vertical. And now we can get G and H by adding 81 and 74 because they are the remote interior angles, and they are 155 degrees. Now let's take a look and do a little more algebra. So this time, we don't know any angle measurements, but we know some relationships. So let's mark what we have. We have angle E. We have angle C. So we know C and E are supplementary, and then we know something about B. So the only thing that's going to help me to start out with is C plus E, angle C plus angle E is going to equal 180 degrees because they are supplementary. So for angle C, I'm going to write 2x plus 13 plus angle E is 3x plus 32, and they total 180 degrees. Now we're going to combine our like terms. We're solving for x. Once we get x, we can plug it in and get these three measurements and then finish out our puzzle. And then we're going to add 13 and 32. That gives us 45. We're going to subtract 45 from both sides. And this gives us 135, and we're going to divide by 5. In our x value, 5 goes into 13 2 times, and then that will be 35, so that will be 27. So let's plug in 27 into any expression. So I'm going to first start with a C value. So I have 27 times 2, and then I'm going to add 13 to that, and that gives me 67. So this was angle C. I was talking about angle C. So C is 67 degrees. E, we can simply subtract from 180, and I get 113 degrees. Now let's go ahead and calculate B. I'm going to plug in our value of 27. So we're going to have, so this is angle B. We have 27 times 3, and then we're going to subtract 16. So that's going to be 5, 6, 65. So angle B is 65. Now we can add B and C and then subtract from 180 to get A because our triangle is 180 degrees. So we have 65 plus 67 is 132. We're going to subtract, and we get 48 degrees. I is going to be 48. L is going to be 65. E is going to be 67. F is 67. E is going to be 113. To get J or K, I'm going to add my remote interior angles, so 67 and 48. So they are each 115 degrees. And then to get G and H, we're going to add 65 and 67. And we've already done that here, so that's going to be 132 degrees. Let's take a look at one more example. In our diagram, we know something about I, we know something about A, and we know their relationship is they equal each other, and then they give us something about E. So let's go ahead, and we know I equals A. So we're going to have angle I is congruent to angle A. So we're going to substitute 5x plus 12 is equal to 3x plus 28, and we're going to solve. I always deal with the variables first, and I'm going to deal with a smaller variable, which is 3x. So our x value is 8. So let's get angle, we can just do angle, either one, it does not matter. So angle I is going to be 5 times 8 plus 12. So we get 40 plus 12, which is 52. So A is 52 degrees and I is 52 degrees. Okay, let's go ahead and get angle E by plugging in. So angle E is going to be 12 times 8 plus 8. So angle E, 12 times 8, that is, I believe, 96 plus 8. So angle E is going to be 104. And D is 104. Now we can get C because we know C and E are supplementary. So I can subtract 104 from 180. That's going to be 76 degrees. And then we know F is 76. We can get B because we know 52 and 76 added together and subtracted from 180 will be angle B. So we have 76 and 52. And then we're going to subtract that from the 180 of our triangle. And we get 52. So L is 52. We can get J by adding 52 and 76, which we just did here. So that's 128. We can get G and H by adding 52 and 76, which we already did. Notice that we did have two congruent interior angles. So this is all the measurements of our diagram.